Okay, hello dear friends, good afternoon. I will take this chance and see if I can do some blah blah blah. And one of the friend asked me to do a blah 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 about kind of relationship. That's something quite hard to say, because everything is supposed to be. If you I don't like it. Everything is supposed to be. So I will start this by a story. There was one time a very kind gentleman, a very kind person, and he was walking in the mountain, and it was dark and it was cold, and he has walked all the day and very tired. And in front of him there was a river. He was about to go across the river. And he was just about to go across the river. At this time, he saw an old lady also about to cross the river. So he thought, well, it is not easy. The water is very strong and very rapid, so it's quite dangerous. So he thought, I need to go home. But I need to help this old lady. Maybe she could be in danger if she just went by herself. So she stopped, and he stopped and helped the old lady went across. And the old lady seemed in quite a rush and did not even talk to him and went away. So this gentleman, he thought, oh, I sacrificed my time, my chance to go back home, and you were going away without even saying a thank you. And without giving gratitude. Well, this is not very nice. As he was thinking about it, and he thought, okay, well, it doesn't help to worry and to be unhappy. Let me keep on with my life and keep on walking. So he went on walking and walking. And just at this time, there was a young man came and chased him from behind. And the young man was running to him and said, did you help an old lady? And he said, yes, I did help an old lady went across the river. And the young man said, that was my mother. And my mother was in a rush. My mother walked the whole day, quite tired, and he was quite desperate to go across the river, and you helped him. She was very grateful, and she asked me to come to give you this. So his mother was so thankful to him. He did not even have time to say thank you, and went as quick as possible to go home and let his son to bring food and clothes for this gentleman. So the story I'm trying to say, maybe this is not a good story, not a very strong story. Don't worry. What belongs to you belongs to you. And being good, being kind, and do the right thing will never betray you. Your good morality will never betray you. So do as much as you can to be a good person, to be a kind person, to be a moral person. Eventually, it will all come back to you. Okay, that's the first story. I think the story was written quite good, but I forgot a little bit how to tell this story. That's a couple of weeks ago I read about this story. Okay, here is another story. There was once upon a time, there was an emperor, and he had a minister, a prime minister. And this prime minister was a very wise person. And this emperor liked hunting very much. Hunting. So one day, hunting or hiking, let's do hiking. Hunting is quite, now we are quite against animal cruelty and these things, so we will change the story. This emperor was hiking in the mountain with this prime minister, and the prime minister, and they were walking in the dark mountain, and this prime minister and the emperor was chatting and happily. Just at this time, something jumped in front, and it was a tiger. And this tiger jumped in front and fight with the emperor, and the minister, not fight with the emperor, jumped to the emperor and wanted to kill the emperor. And the minister was very quick and helped this emperor and pushed the tiger away, scared the tiger away. So the emperor's life was saved. But there was one tiny problem, because the tiger has bite off a little, the small finger, the baby finger, a little tiny bit of a baby finger. It's not totally gone, it's just a little bit of baby finger. And it's emperor, of course. Emperor should be complete, right? And the emperor was saved. He was grateful for this minister, and he said, "Thank you for very much for helping me out." And this minister said, "It's all supposed to be. It's okay. It may not be a bad thing that you were bitten off a little finger." And the emperor was very angry. "Gosh, I was about to thank you, but you say something so heartless to this." And the emperor was very angry because of this. And also, he lost his finger. So he said, "Okay, if you say this, gosh, you are in trouble." So the emperor put the minister in jail. And because he said it's because the prime minister said, "Don't worry, it's all supposed to be." And then the minister, the emperor said, "Okay, now I put you in the jail. What do you say?" You know what the prime minister said? The prime minister said, "Well, it's all supposed to be." Okay, sorry, I was stopped because some people came in, and it's all supposed to be, let's say. So the emperor said, then the minister said, "It's all supposed to be." The emperor said, "Gosh, this prime minister, why do I take him as my prime minister? He was just so silly and so, well, how could he think this way?" So the emperor put him in jail, and the prime minister thought it was supposed to be. At this time, there was a foreign invasion. It's not really a foreign invasion, it's some tribe group. They are looking for people to contribute to, as a tribute, what do you call it? It's a sacrifice people's life to tribute to heaven. So this tribal group came and arrested the emperor. I'm sorry, this story is a little bit here and there. Arrested the emperor and about to tribute him to heaven, put him in fire or something. And just before they were about to put the emperor in fire, they realized the emperor had one little finger disappeared, or does not have a complete hand. So because it's a contribution to heaven, and they were very superstitious, and they thought, well, this person was not complete. Heaven, our God, will not accept our gift and will not bless us with an insincere contribution. Because if you give an incomplete person, incomplete hand, incomplete person, it is not right. And this way, the emperor got saved. And the emperor got saved. He went back home, and he met with the prime minister. And he thought, well, this prime minister must be really right on this, because it is true that my little finger was disappeared, was bitten off, so that I could not be contributed, so I saved my life. It is not necessarily a bad thing. So he went to the prime minister to say thank you. And he said, well, it is exactly like you said. It may not be a bad thing, but I'm sorry I put you in jail. And this time, the prime minister said, still, it's all supposed to be. It may not be a bad thing. The emperor was absolutely surprised. I put you in jail and you say this. The prime minister said, okay, if you did not put me in jail, and I am always together with you, and the guns or the tribal people arrested you, they must arrest me together. And if they found you are not a complete person, the next person must be me, and they must put me in the fire as contribution. So it may not be a bad thing that you put me in jail. So the moral of this story, I do not need to say the moral of the story. Whatever is happening is happening. So oftentimes, it's all supposed to be. And last night, yesterday I went back home, and I had a pressure of doing an art project. We have a big art event. I was very pressured and stressed. So I went back home and I rested a little bit, and I could not. I looked for the ideas and everything, and suddenly there was one idea pop up, and I went back home and came back to school. And my boss saw me and said, "You are above and beyond. You went back home and came back." I said, "If I do not come back, I will not have a good sleep. Although I could have stayed at home, and it will not eventually end up good." So I came here and tried the idea, and the idea was it's kind of hard. And I was hesitating. I stayed until 6 o'clock and 7 until very late. And then I came back home, went back home with my heart bumping because this project was very hard. And this morning we started this project. Kids, some likes it, some does not like it. And slowly they get into the mood. And it turned out to be really good. So all your effort will not be wasted in vain. All your effort, what you have done, will all come back to you. Your effort will be a reward for you, and your laziness will be a punishment one way or another. Everything will come back to you. It's all supposed to be.